This is a stunning opening trap of the Italian opening GRECO Gambit. You would have seen this Italian game a million times, and we go for the same GRECO piano after this c3 move, knight f6 obviously, then d4, and now we are gambiting a pawn in the center. After this takes, we allow this bishop to deliver a check, and now we just develop the knight. Knight is capturing on this e4, pressurizes the knight obviously, and in the previous video I already talked about this is the molar attack from the black side where white is obviously better, and I talked about many lines. Obviously here the best move is to castle, and now we allow this knight to capture here, pawn capture and bishop capture attacks the rook. In the previous video I showed you this line, knight here going for the f7 pawn, but I will talk about this move a little bit later. But we have a very wonderful move with this bishop on a3 this time. Okay, again the same stuff is happening because we cannot accept the sacrifice because of the rook check, and black would just be losing too much material after this rook capture, and queen is also lost. So that is why it is obviously not possible to capture it. So black might find this very interesting, this pawn push in the center first after this bishop on a3. Now the rook and bishop both is hanging, so we need to prevent this bishop capture, and we still allow this bishop to capture the rook. And this game was played once against two opponents, rated 2500 on chess.com, where black captured this. So after this capture we have a very wonderful stuff. We can just deliver a check, but this time black is not losing the queen obviously because bishop just blocks the position. But now the surprising stuff starts when the queen goes there attacking the bishop also in the next move, and we are ready to capture the knight obviously. And what is the engine recommendation here? Engine suggests okay, black should just give up the queen in this moment, because after this knight is jumping attacks the queen and the knight, and if black tries to move the queen anywhere else this would be a blunder, because after this bishop capture, queen capture, and black is just getting checkmated. After this king move obviously we can just sacrifice the knight again, and this is a fork, so obviously king cannot move. Black will have to capture with the bishop, and now we deliver this wonderful checkmate. So obviously that is not possible, and we cannot play this queen on d7. So what are the movements? Okay, after this black should give up the queen for the two pieces after this capture, and this is the absolute best move. And still white can easily win this, and in next few moves white can easily solidify the position and capture so many pawns, so this would be quite winning. But I will show you other lines which is also losing. So engine recommendation is this queen on b8, but this also loses the game. We can just go for this rook sacrifice, which is a mistake from the engine recommendation, but this is absolutely not that, because chess.com is engine is not that wonderful. So after this pawn takes, we have the wonderful idea with this knight jumping, and we don't allow the king to escape, and black again need to give this queen. So I will show you if you play any other move like this. So we can just capture this, okay, not with the knight obviously, with the bishop, and after this capture, king should just go here, and we can deliver this wonderful checkmate. That is why it is not possible to move any of the piece, and now you need to play this king move, and after when the black moves the king there is a move, this bishop capture, and black should give up the queen again. If we don't give up, let's play any other move, like if we try to move the king this would be again a mistake, because we have the bishop check first, and once the king move we can just deliver this wonderful checkmate with both the bishops slicing the diagonal, and this knight is delivering the wonderful checkmate. So okay, this is not possible, and we can find the other move. So what is the idea behind this queen on c8? Again this is losing. We can go for very standard stuff with this bishop capture obviously. So queen capture, and now we go for this queen capture, which is very brilliant. Once the king move, we have a very surprising stuff. We can just jump with the knight, and now this bishop absolutely cannot move. If you just move this bishop back, this would be a blunder because of this knight delivering the checkmate. So this is not possible. Black will have to play with this rook move in the center, protecting the bishop. But now the surprising stuff again, we can sacrifice the exchange. Here black needs to give up the queen again, because after this queen takes, we just capture with the knight, and this would be completely winning. After this takes, we can even capture the rook, and the game is totally lost for black. But what happens if we don't capture with this queen and we capture with the pawn? Again the same stuff, because queen and bishop is slicing the diagonal. We can deliver this wonderful checkmate again. So now let's talk about the other lines, which from where we just started. After this, I talked about this knight maneuver. In the previous video I have also talked about this, so if you have watched these lines, you are most welcome to skip this. So after this, I showed you many lines. After this, you can just play the pawn push with black, because this is the absolute best move. And now we can even go for this knight sacrifice, and after king captures, this is obviously an inaccuracy, but we can just go for the queen check, and once the king goes back, we can just capture this. And after this pawn takes, we don't need to capture this pawn. Obviously we can first deliver a check. Once the king move, we can just go for this capture, and king should play here, and we are having enough compensation for our sacrificed piece. We are attacking very brilliantly, and white is slightly better. But after this takes, if black tries to move the king back, this will be a blunder, because this loses the queen on the spot, because this queen slices this diagonal, and once we deliver a check with this bishop, this knight will have to go back, and we can just capture this, and this is totally lost position to black. So that is why this is not possible, and in this line we are quite well. But in some cases, I already showed you, this castling would be catastrophic, because we have the queen stuff threatening checkmate, and there is only one move. We need to push the pawn, but we have the knight capture attacks the queen, and we are also threatening some discoveries. Okay, queen can here be played, but this would be a checkmate in 3 moves, because this is a double check, we already know. So once the king move, let's say king goes to any of the square, again the double check, we can deliver this, and this would be a checkmate.